friends, welcome to another episode of the Rifle Chair YouTube channel. Today we're going to go over the results for the Cabin Fever Challenge. The results are all in and I've compiled them, and I have your scores for all three classifications. First of all, what is the Cabin Fever Challenge? Very quickly, it's an opportunity for shooters to get outside in the middle of the winter time. We call it cabin fever because you've been indoors a little bit too long. You're looking out the window going, boy, is the weather either really cold or wet or damp and uncomfortable. Let's go out and do some shooting in that. So that's what the Cabin Fever Challenge is all about. Get outside, get some fresh air. It's about demonstrating, practicing your positional shooting of standing, kneeling, prone, and sitting, and in that order. Standing, kneeling, prone, sitting. So they shoot that. 5 rounds each in each position, and they do a mandatory reload as they transition from one shooting position to another. That's the purpose. That's the reason for it. There are a total of 3 classifications: vintage, modern, and bolt. And if you want to know more about the rules, click right here onto this link, and it'll tell you in more detail what the shoot is all about and how it's conducted. All of the stages are timed, and that's one of the reasons, or one of the ways, that we actually derive a score is your total score on target times 5 divided by your time in seconds times 100. That's how you get your score. So you can see there needs to be a balance on how precisely you shoot and the time that you do it, because the higher the denominator, which is the seconds in time, the lower your score could conceivably be, no matter how well you print on the target. And we demonstrate that in these scores. We have people that scored extremely high, but they took a long time. So they didn't really score very high on the threshold of the spectrum of scores. But the people that shot fast, even though they got fewer shots on target, they did very well for themselves. One of the first things I like to do is to acknowledge all of you, all of the participants that actually got off their tuchus, went outside into the elements and did this. I got to give you guys a thumbs up, because that's just awesome. Running and gunning, and well, not really running and gunning, but certainly going out and shooting your rifles in the winter time poses new challenges that we don't normally take into consideration. Running with cold hands, doing reloads with cold hands. Where am I keeping my magazines? Where am I keeping my stripper clips, so that I can effectively get to them and reload the rifle, change position, safety applications, cold hands, cold rifle. Sometimes they react a little bit differently. One person up in Yellowknife, you know who you are, was running an M1 Garand. Great guy, and I suspect even the grease on his rifle was starting to solidify. So really cold. So let's get straight into it. Class number 1, this is vintage. So pretty much, if it's a vintage semi-automatic rifle, this is where the classification comes in. Unless it's been tweaked out, then we kind of bump it up to modern. But so vintage rifles would be, for example, M1 Garands, SKSs, SAFNs, and M1 carbines, and so on. The SKS is what most people use. Let's start with first place. We'll work our way up to first place, from 5th to 1st. In 5th place is Scairns from Yellowknife, shooting an M1 Garand. Scairns shot 9 out of 20 hits on a target at 8-inch circle at 100 meters. And he did that 9 hits in 145 seconds with a total score of 31. Well done, buddy. You went out and significantly sub-zero temperatures, and you shot that. And I just came back from Yellowknife, so I get a kind of a feel as to how kind of dry, cold it is up there. So really well done. In 4th place was Sky Noob, running a Chinese SKS Type 56. And Sky Noob shot 6 out of 20, but he did it really fast. He did it in 76 seconds. So he only got 6 out of 20, but he did it quickly. So his score was 39. So well done. So you're kind of finding the balance of time and score. 3rd place went to Cone Skid Cone, again with an SKS. He shot better than Sky Noob. He actually got 1 hit on his target less than Sky Noob, but he did it faster. So he got 5 out of 20 hits, did it in 60 seconds for a total score of 42. Only 3 points in between Sky Noob and Cone Skid Cone. 2nd place goes to Red Rider, shooting an M1 Garand, an M1 carbine. 13 hits on target in 138 seconds for a total score of 47. And in 1st place, drum roll please, is Claymore, shooting an M305 Norinco, or which is kind of like the Chinese version of the M1A, for 15 hits out of 20 in 138 seconds for a total score of 54. Well done. Round of applause to all of you. Let's move on to, and incidentally, Claymore, you have actually just won yourself a sticker from the great people over at Sure Shot Exploding Targets. Have a look at that. Something to stick on your gun safe or on your locker or whatever you want. Send me an email to admin@riflechair.com and I'll send it off to you in the mail. Send me your mailing address and I'll get that in the mail off to you. I know there wasn't supposed to be any prizes, but Sure Shot got these stickers to me, so I'm going to give them to you. So, there we are. Y'all get a little memento. Second class, which is modern. Class number 2 is modern, so you're typically your AR-15s, Tavors, Swiss Arms, and so on. That's kind of the idea behind this. In 5th place is From the North. He was shooting a Mini 14, and he got a total of 9 out of 20 hits on target in 133 seconds with a total score of 34. 4th place is Sean C6. Really well done, Sean. Shooting a Chinese T97, 9 out of 20 hits in 69 seconds for a total score of 65. 3rd place is Sherlock Gnomes. I laugh every time I say that name. Sherlock Gnomes. Shooting a Colt Canada IUR with a 15.7-inch barrel. You got a total of 13 out of 20 hits for 82 seconds for a total score of 79. Well done. 2nd place goes to Rifle Chair, shooting a Colt AR-1584 with an RCO A4 optic by Trijicon. 14 out of 20 hits in 71 seconds for a total score of 98. Yay for me! 2nd place, oh well. And in 1st place, drum roll please, is Mr. Brian Bolivar, shooting a Colt Canada SA-20 with 19 out of 20 hits in 67 seconds for a total grand score of 142. Now, Brian Bolivar may not be a stranger to a lot of you. He is one of the co-hosts for ModernRiflemanRadio.com. Go to the website, check it out. They've got some great programming on there, some great information. I highly recommend you visit their website and listen to some of the stuff that they have to say. He co-hosts with Ken Kowalski. Brian does, and they put on a good show for all of us and for educating the public on issues that concern all of us. And I'm really glad that Brian came on board, because Brian shoots NSC National Service Conditions, DCRA shooting, surface rifle shooting, and he kind of exemplified and demonstrated for us the type of positional shooting that you need to try to emulate or to deploy successfully in order to shoot at that level in those kinds of competitions. So I'm really glad that somebody of that kind of cadre of marksmanship, of credible marksman, was able to be involved in the competition and to demonstrate positional shooting for us. Thank you very much, Brian. However, 19 out of 20 hits, I think I should be asking you for a urine sample, because you may have, performance enhancing drugs maybe, I don't know. Alright, 19 out of 20 is pretty good. Class 3, I'm not suggesting anything, just maybe a urine sample would be a good idea. Class number 3, all bolt guns. Now, the 5th, 4th, and 3rd place are in black and white according to the rules, disqualified. Sorry guys, but you didn't video what your shots. But I'm gonna. So you are DQ'd. All right, let's just be open about it. You're all disqualified. Sorry. They're all from a town called Smithers. Dun dun dun. Great town, by the way. Great town. But let's get into it. 5th place is Larry from Smithers, shooting a number 4 Mark 1 Lee Enfield. You scored a total of 9. I don't have any stats, but your score was 9. In 4th place is John, shooting a Mosin Nagant. Your score was 13. Again, I don't have any stats. What your actual score on target was and your time and all that stuff. All he gave me was a score. So I'll just give you the scores. So 4th place was John with a Mosin Nagant. Great rifles, I love them. 3rd place was Lance, again with a number 4 Mark 1. for a total score of 14. Larry, John, and Lance. Now in second place is a great guy. He's starting to develop his own YouTube channel. So I'll put a link right here. Go check it out. He's just starting off. He may pursue it, he may not, I don't know. But Tudenham was shooting a Model 38 Swedish Mauser in 6.5 by 55 Swedish. Scored a total of 11 out of 20 hits for total in 119 seconds for a total score of 46. Well done, Tudenham. It was fun shooting with you. And in first place for Class 3 for bolt guns is Rifle Chair, shooting a Savage number 4 Mark 1 Star, 16 out of 20 hits in 104 seconds for a total score of 77. Now I'm going to gift my top prize, because I'm the host of the shoot, and I've already got one of these for myself, so I'm going to gift that to Tudenham for being such a good sport. So that's it for all 3 classifications, but I'll give you the top 5 overall scores, all classes combined. In 5th place is Sean C96 with the T97, score 65. 4th place is Rifle Chair, shooting a Lee Enfield bolt gun, 77. 3rd place is Sherlock Gnomes with a Colt IUR, 79. 2nd place is Rifle Chair with a Colt AR-15A4, score of 98. 1st place, drumroll please, is of course Brian Bolivar, shooting a Colt Canada SA-20 with a total score of 142. Thanks very much to all of you again. If you're a first place shooter, send me your contact information over email at admin@riflechair.com, and I will with your mailing address, and I'll send you your Sure Shot exploding target sticker. All right, thanks folks. Thanks for being involved in the competition. We're going to show you we'll show you the video for the top 3 shots for each class after this, and enjoy. And as always, thanks for being involved, and Maple Leaf up.
4-foot leap up. And city.